Hey guys, today is Thursday, November the 2nd of 2023, and I want to go over the uranium spot price. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So I updated my cycle spectrum analyzer, and our close for October is $74.38. So far it's been chucking along since 2016, and I got data using from 1980 to current prices right now. And what I've been noticing is that there are, you say, 1, 2, 3 cycles. 2 of them are kind of similar. One is like big picture, and then there's a dominant cycle, which is smaller and it's a little more fractal. So we're going to start off with the big cycle, which is the 302. That's this cycle right here. You can see that it oscillates very close to the top, pulls back, although the low came in 2016. And this cycle is peaking as of right now, and this can always change, 2033. So this cycle is up. It's not strong. The Bartels is 62.21. The strength is 1.07. So it's, it's not that strong, but it's there. This is the highest on the spectrum. The next one is 173. This is closer to the 302. And this one, interesting enough, hits a peak in January of 2024. Somewhere around December, January. And then this cycle goes down to October of 2030. It's a trough. The next one is the 102. So the 173 has a Bartel of 72.36. So it's like growing, and the strength is a little stronger than the 302. The 102 is 84.08 Bartel, and the strength is 137. So the strength is not as strong, but the Bartels are higher. And you can see that this one is going to be hitting a peak, I don't know, somewhere between December and January. And then it goes down to 2028. And then from there, we go to the fractal one, which is the dominant cycle, which is 47. And you can see how it, it's not perfect. It picks some peaks here. There was a low here, and then the low came here, very close to the low here. And it picked maybe this peak here. Maybe picked here, kind of went sideways. There was a low here, and then we shot up. We consolidated here, and we hit a peak. This one hit a peak somewhere around April of 2023, maybe March, April of 2023. Now this cycle is down to March the 2025. So you already know all the cycles I just went over. So what I like to do is do a composite and take it with the dominant cycle. So we have the 47. We add the 102 cycle, and this is what is projection. Swing low here, July of 2025, then it pops, then it goes down. And the reason why the cycle goes down is because the 102 cycle is down. So you see the dominant, it's the cycle. With the 47 as a composite, you get these merges, these like turning points. The next one is the 173 with the 47. And there is June 2025. And then it goes up, and then it goes down. So this is more of a bearish scenario from here, using the 47, the 102, and the 173 cycle. Now, if we take the 47, which is the dominant cycle, which is this one, and merge it with the big cycle, which is the 302, this is what you get. So this is more realistic, I guess, with the fundamentals and everything lining up. Unless, something happens drastically. Now we got 2 wars. We got Russia and Ukraine, which I haven't seen anything in the news lately, which is kind of weird. But Now you have Hamas, Israel, Iran, and who knows who else is going to join in or whatever. And that's going on right now. So I don't know if something could affect, uranium. I don't know if there's a nuke, will things change? I know Fukushima was a disaster, and this was Fukushima right here. And then the sentiment and everything went, straight down. No one wanted to do anything with uranium. And that was just a disaster. That had nothing to do with a war and, sending nukes over to different countries. That's unknown territory. So I don't know how people will react if, one of these countries do nuke another country. How will the world, now think about nuclear? I don't know how that's going to affect that. So that's, something, to ponder. We don't know what the results will be in regards to investment, but there is a turning point here using the 47 and the 302. But then it continues chucking along. And the reason why is because the 302 is the bigger cycle. So the 302 is the very bullish one. The 173 is not as bullish. And the dominant cycle is 47. And that one is down. So that's what we have in regards to spectrum cycle analysis on uranium spot price. Okay, guys, so I'm using UX1 uranium futures. U308 futures. The reason why I'm using UX1 is because on UX2 I have all my notes, and I don't know how to hide my notes and do other drawings on top of that. So I didn't want to kind of mess it up. So I'm going to stick with the UX1. And this is what I'm kind of seeing in the future, the forecast. And I've been thinking about this the last couple of days, so I figured I'd just put it out as a forecast that I have. So this is going to be very important. Some of you may agree with it. Some of you may not. It's fine. I just want to put it out there for those that, think it's important. Just, put it on the back of your mind. For those that ignore it, to each their own. But I wanted to put it out there because this is what I'm kind of seeing, playing out. And I could be wrong and I could be right. So we'll see. And this analysis is using a lot of things, especially Gann theory, because this is what I study. So we're first going to do a retracement. I just want to see the key levels using the futures. And center of gravity is 82.75. That's the midpoint from this range. And mind you, this is 12 months. So this is a whole year of trading. So you can see from 2016, we just started going up. So let's see. First off, I want to see how long did it take us. So that was 9 years from a high to the down. So let's 9 years it took. Almost 10. So remember that. 9 years going down. So it could be 9 years almost. So 9 years going up could be 2025. But I use Gann numbers, so I'm going to stick with 10. So my forecast for a possible retest of the high, I'm going to be very conservative. I'm not even going to go like, 200, 300, $500 uranium. No, I'm going to keep it very conservative. To retest the high of 147, I'm going to give it 10 years. So that's going to take me to 2026. It was 9 years for this, from the high to down. Even if it happens in 2025, that's fine. But I'm going to stick with 10 years. It could come earlier. It could come even a little later, 11 years. But 10 years is a sweet spot. The next thing I want to add is going to be 5 years from here. So this is the midpoint. 2 years, 1 year sideways, 2 years up. That cycle is completed. The next thing would be from this low to this high. That's 2 years. So in Gann's theory, what comes in 2024 will be a correction, either sideways or some kind of retrace. And we already seen, and I showed you in the video earlier with the spectrum cycle analyzer, that the 101, the 173 cycle peaks somewhere around December, January of 2024. December of 2023, January of 2024. And the bigger cycle, long term, goes all the way to 2033. That's a dynamic cycle. But right now, we're entering where it gets toppy. So it's kind of all lining up here, even with the spectrum cycle analysis. So what I expect for next year could possibly be where we have a little retrace. Oops. Let's see if I could do this right. Not playing here. Okay, so if it's going to retrace, it's going to be something like a year, and these are the levels. So I'm going to put that like right here for 2024. See that right there? So a conservative retrace, let's give it a 38.2 Fibonacci level, 67.35. I mean, 48 is very extreme. I mean, unless something crazy happens in the world, but I'm being conservative. And I'm assuming that between November and December, it's going to test 82 or 77 on spot price. At least me, the center of gravity. And that's unknown yet. We don't know that yet. But I'm assuming if we're going to go strong into November, December, it's going to push a little higher. So on the UX1, a conservative target would be 82.75. And once we get there, then a pullback to at least, 67.35, or kind of sideways between 87.75 and 67.35. It's very reasonable and conservative. If it goes down to 43, that's very drastic, I think, in my opinion. But you never know. But that's reasonable. And then from there, move on into ending and retesting the high. So you have 2 more years, total of 10 years of sideways, pushing even higher into retesting $148 within 10 years of 2026. So that's my forecast. Retrace for next year. And then 2025, resume pushing higher. And this is conservative. Retest of high. And if it doesn't get to at least a high, maybe 120 looks realistic, maybe 98. But, those levels into 2026. So that's my forecast. We're going to look at now Elliot Wave and see what Elliot Wave is telling us there. Okay, so this is my Elliot Wave chart on uranium spot price. And you can see that we got a 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 was Fukushima. 5 was that low. We got a 1, 2, 3. And there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have to work on a wave 4, which makes sense if the cycles are topping out in January for a possible, turning point here. And then, continue going into a wave 5. So possible projection of wave 4 would be 6208, which is not that bad. And then even 54, test this swing high. And maybe dip in below. So those are the projections for a possible wave 4 using the Elliot Wave theory on uranium spot price, 54.78 and 62.08. But that remains to be seen. This is just a probability. All we know, uranium could just continue chugging along like it did here. whatever catalyst is going to be, that could probably happen. But if we're using different techniques and different theories, then there's a possible retracement. And I'm in the school of thought that there could possibly be a retracement for next year, pulling back, resetting, and then doing another leg higher. Possible wave 5 projections is 93.33 and also 112.49. Is there anything above here? No, that's it. So that's that. Let's look at some Fibonacci. So you see the 77.35 is from this swing high to this swing low. From this swing low, whatever that is, here to this high is 71. And we already pierced that. We are already at 74.35 for the close of October. Center of gravity will be 77, and I'm sure we're going to kiss that this month or in December. It's just a matter of when. So we could take that off. And targets. So this is the MOB target, and this is anchored from this high of Fukushima. And we already kissed it, and we're smack in the middle right now. So it's showing that it could possibly go to 76, 72. And I have already a target of 77. So we're in the target zone where it's reached its maximum target from this swing pivot high. Can I go higher? Yes, it could always go higher. But we just using different techniques to see where it could possibly stall. And since we already know that some of the cycles are stalling, and we are already entering now the year where it could either go sideways or correct. We can see the Stokes already getting toppy. And you can see that when it just gets toppy and it corrects, it just kind of does that. It pulls back, kind of goes sideways, and then does another leg higher. That's possibly what could happen. We just pull back, not a total crash, just a nice little decent, retrace, kind of consolidate, just kind of, sleep and slumber, no action, just sideways, and then explode and do another leg higher. So don't panic if you're long. I'm invested in uranium. I own some stocks. But I'm not going to panic if it pulls back. It's just going to be a decent correction and then do this wave 5. Is there anything else I got to show you here? I think that's it. This Gann fans here I'm watching, and, it could be 86. It all depends once it reaches it there, if it gets there. But so far, it's very bullish. Very bullish. The last chart I'm going to show you is probably going to be the geometry chart, the scale chart. So we're going to go to that video clip right now. Okay, before I got to the geometry chart, this is another software that I use. These are Dewy Cycles. The white is the averages. And here's the price action. You can see that even the Dewy cycle is indicating some kind of turning point here. And these are the Dewy cycles all separate, and this is an average of all this down here, and it shows that it gets toppy somewhere around November 30th, and then it pulls back, goes down until January 31st of 2025, indicating that there could possibly be a correction or kind of sideways action between this year and then starting next year, which kind of lines up like what I call clusters, things just kind of separately, kind of confirming, connecting dots of different theories, kind of saying it's like, we could go sideways to lower. And then at the end of 2025, or somewhere in the middle of 2025 or the end, resume this leg higher. And this peaks somewhere around 2026. So that's your 10-year cycle, one of Gann's theory in regards to price and time. So it's long term, but at least if you know these things, you're already ahead of the herd and already ahead of the game. Let's look at just a little bit of geometry here. So this is Andrew's pitchfork adjusted at 50%. And you can see that from this move here to this move here, it's the same mirrored image, and it ends at 2026. So there's a lot of things that are going to culminate around 2026. So There could be a little retracement, pullback, and then things could explode. And once we get to 2026, if we are retesting that high, that wouldn't be a bad idea to lock in profit. I don't know. I'm just saying. Don't get greedy. Don't think it's going to the moon like the Bitcoin crew. Lock in profits in 2026 if we retest that high. Because a couple of things could happen. Could be a fail new high, and then it gets a correction from the 10-year high. Just saying. Don't get greedy. Using the Andrews pitchfork right here, very bullish. We're above this angle, so that is strong. And as long as we chuck along, that is good. Let's continue here. Retracement, 77.36. We are on our way up there, so that looks good. The Gann speed lines. This is the 1/2. And these are Gann speed lines here. We haven't kissed that yet. But so far, it's still looking good. As you can see, this 1/4 was very good support. Just bouncing off it. Boom, 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 boom. And then boom! We exploded up. And now we're going to the 1/2. So another conservative target, just looking at the Gann speed lines would be the 3/4, 106. To do this leg higher from 2025. That could be very conservative, but I think if we're going to really push extreme, we could probably push there higher, maybe 1 year, maybe, I don't know, 2025 hit that, and then once we hit 2026, go to $136.22 for uranium spot price. We'll see. Just speculating, and that's it. That's the Dewy cycle. So let's go into the geometry chart, and we'll end it there. Okay, so here's one of the charts I have here. So this is the Fukushima high, and we are at 74.38. So from the all-time high to where we at currently right now, that's 16.37 years. From the all-time low in 2001 to where we are at right now is 22.746 years. From this low to this high, it's 6.916 years. And that low to that high was 6.409. So we already passed in regards to time this move. We're already at 6.9, entering the 7-year one again cycle, which I have indicated here, which kicks in November. And this is the 2-year from this explosion up, entering here, meaning that now the correction phase, either sideways or correction phase, now kicks in for 2024, meaning that, this is a nice realistic target if it either pulls back to 65 and just holds it. So this is something just to keep an eye on, because this is now spot price. This is not uranium futures, a UX1 or UX2. So this is the uranium spot price. So if the correction plays out, which I'm leaning that it could play out, we just got to see price action, because price action is keen. If it does pull back, don't be afraid. It's going to pull back, and it's probably going to test this Fukushima high of $65 and change. And then what I want to see is that, for the next, for 2024, if it pulls back, if it dips in, that at least it kind of holds that and then consolidates here and then continue doing this other leg higher into 2026. So that's that for this chart. Now we're going to the geometry chart and see what we have there. Okay, so this is the last chart on the uranium spot price. So we're going to start off with our Gann fans. That's a 45 degree. I'm sure if it's going to continue chucking higher, this is going to be an area that, it's going to be resistance. And I want to see once it gets there, our uranium spot price is going to do. So that's I have on my watch. In regards to the all-time low, you can see that we already above the 1/2. So that's good. As long as that holds, that's pretty good. So it's looking good. Very positive. From this low here, you see we're above the 45. So this is the 30 degree. So it's looking good. Very far to get up there, but so far it's looking good. Above the 45, the 1x1. Keep an eye out for 4:30 of 2025. This is where this, oh, it feels like it's a little off here. I have to check that out. You know what? I take that back. I need to adjust this. I don't think that's going to be accurate. Yeah, I think things kind of shift here a little bit. So we're going to skip that. The Andrews pitchfork looking good. Center of gravity right here is at 77.45 or 77-ish. So keep an eye on that. This is the 25% angle right here. So let's see how once we get there. Skip all these parallel lines. We haven't gone up there yet. Fibonacci. So this is the all-time low to the all-time high. You can see that the center of gravity 71.66. We are above that. Targets to the upside 86.90 and 105.74. Center of gravity from the all-time high to the current low we have right now 77.36. Targets to the upside 91.25, 108.43, and then the all-time high of 136, I guess 22-ish. Nothing there. Nothing there. Advance in support resistance 81.77. That's way far for us to get there yet. Let's see over here. Yep. And then the last one over here, support will be 71.08 if it pulls back, and that's from the swing low to the swing high. The Gann square. We're about to end the Gann square around 4/24 of 2024. Then we got to create a new one. But so far, you know, within this swing low and this swing high, we already infiltrated the midpoint. And once we get to April of next year, we start a new square, which would be the second square. And then we just got to see how price action is going to behave. So what you do is, I just give you a little preview right here. This works. We add now one more box, and this is the future. So as long as we can hold this angle going up here, it's going to be good. And if it pulls back for a year of correction, 71.70, even this angle over here, and even the Fukushima high, we need to add the 1.6 level. And I don't know where that's at in regards to the chart. The chart, it's already there. So it will be, yeah, it will be this one all the way down here. So yeah, so this is going to be all open space from 55.40 all the way to 71.33. Now from the low to the high, this is going to be a good area of support, 71.70, and then this angle going up like that, up to here. Percentage from this low to this high, so far we had 302.05%. So that's good. In regards to Fourier string, there is crossover. Let's close this over here. There's a crossover happening somewhere around December. So let's see how that's going to play out around December. But other than that, everything is looking good. Just be, you know, on the watch for next year. See what happens. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the uranium spot price.